and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Taechichu, and I don't know what I'm doing. I will never know I'm doing, and that's what I'm using as an intro. Welcome back to my channel, welcome back to the October 31 days of spooktacular spookiness. Do I know the official name? No, but it's fine. Welcome. Today's video we are doing, as it says in the title, I am giving out Pokemon partners to very infamous horror movie killers slash antagonists slash just horror movie main characters. We'll be talking about like characters in Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Annabelle, Jigsaw, stuff like that. If you haven't seen horror movies before, I strongly suggest that you do, so that you'll be able to understand this video, because otherwise I'm not sure how you'll be able to understand. But anyway, let's just get into it. The first horror movie villain that I am going to be talking about is Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees is the star of Friday the 13th, and he basically kills people at a camp while they are camping, and he has a lot of mommy issues. I want to preface it with that. The only reason I know a lot about Friday the 13th is because there was a video game that came out not too long ago. Multiplayer, kind of cool. You learned a little bit of the lore of Jason Voorhees if you haven't seen the movie. It was popular for a bit. I don't know if the game's still going on now. I know it was popular for a little bit though. So the Pokemon that I gave Jason Voorhees was Cubone. And the reason that I gave Jason Cubone was because they both wear masks to hide what they really look like. Jason with a hockey mask, Cubone with the mask of its mother. And that, the mask of its mother, that also goes along with the fact that Jason Voorhees has mommy issues. Jason Voorhees has a really complicated relationship with his mother. His mother's dead, but he thinks that he keeps hearing her in his head. And I think that kind of relates to Cubone in a way where Marowak's death, the Marowak's death in Cubone's life just made a huge impact on it. And I think the same thing goes for Jason Voorhees as well. So that's why I had Cubone with Jason Voorhees. It doesn't take that much knowledge to know that Cubone is probably the best Pokemon for Jason. The next horror movie villain, of course, going after Friday the 13th, we're going to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street because, you know, Freddy versus Jason, that whole ordeal. So we're going to be talking about Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger basically haunts dreams. He is the villain that has the striped sweater, the weird brown fedora, the messed up face, the burnt face, and he has claws. So he has like a glove that has knives attached to it, and then where he's going like this, and he haunts people's dreams, kills them in their dreams, which essentially kills them in real life. So the Pokemon that I chose for Freddy Krueger was Drowsy. Not only is Drowsy creepy in like his own little fingery weird way, but Drowsy also, from that one episode in Pokemon Season 1 where Drowsy was used to put, or Hypno was used to put Pokemon to sleep, but Drowsy knows Dream Eater, and I think that Drowsy is much creepier than Hypno is. And Drowsy is known for its Dream Eater, which essentially is kind of what Freddy Krueger does, you know, in his whole movie. He infiltrates the kids' dreams to try and kill them, and I feel like Drowsy is the perfect Pokemon for that because it knows Dream Eater. It can travel in the dreams with Freddy Krueger to kill all the kids. I just think that makes perfect sense. I know this is getting a little bit morbid, but it's spooky season, so I'm gonna just take that as a pass. The next villain that we are going to talk about is going to be Leatherface. Leatherface is the main character of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you haven't seen that, I strongly suggest it. I think it's a really good movie. A little spooky, definitely. It's about these kids, they're going on a trip. They enter in a place where there's this family and this deranged, it's a deranged family of cannibals. So essentially they capture them and then they go to try and kill them. Leatherface's main weapon is a chainsaw. He tries to kill everyone and then the family eats them. It's a whole weird family cannibal dynamic. There's multiple movies of it. The only one I can really remember is the first one because I watched it in a college class of mine. So yes. So for Leatherface, I was kind of stuck because with Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, they have kind of like a supernatural type element to them. So for Leatherface, I had to go something with more physical, because Leatherface is kind of just like a deranged lunatic who is eating people. So, oddly enough, I kind of went with a dark Pokemon. But because Leatherface is so strong, the main character of Leatherface. I picked Pangoro for it because Pangoro is blind. It can't see. It goes off of everything based off of its bamboo. Where Leatherface can't really see because it's wearing a mask literally made of human skin, so it's kind of hard for him to see, so he also goes very based off sound. At least that's to my assumption. I picked basically Pangoro because of the brute strength that comes with Pangoro and being just a huge bear with fists, where Leatherface, that is, the deranged lunatic, is not very smart. His name's Bubba, and he has brute strength. He is the one that captures these people so his family can eat people. So that's kind of where I'm like, I need a Pokemon that's strong, I need a Pokemon that's buff, but also not like a Machamp or like a Hitmonchan, more of something that's like big, oafy, and just kind of like, I don't know, Pangoro also reminds me of Beastars and the panda in that, so that's why I chose Pangoro for it. If it doesn't make sense, I'm sorry, but it made sense in my head. Next movie, the villain that we are going to talk about is Chucky, aka from Child's Play, which is basically about a doll that comes to life. Chucky when I was growing up, was one of the scariest movies for me because I grew up with plushes, I grew up with dolls, and essentially at some point I was at my grandmother's and one of my cousins told me about Child's Play and how my stuffed animals were going to come to life. From that point on, every plush that I had slept with had to be faced away from me because I was afraid a plush was going to kill me in my sleep. So this movie has a soft spot in my heart. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Something with Child's Play just kind of messes with my head a little bit, especially with being told, hey, turn your plushes around or they're going to kill you. But the Pokemon that I chose for Chucky, aka the Haunted Doll, was Impidimp. The reason that I chose Impidimp was because it's a mischievous Pokemon, where it's just kind of like, it's a dark fairy type Pokemon, where I feel like with it being in a doll, I feel like that's very fairy-like. That's kind of like where I got that trait, and I think that they're both like super mischievous. Whereas if it ever were to turn into Grimmsnarl could like basically do everything that Chucky asked, but as an Impidimp, it's just kind of like that little troll that keeps popping up and just kind of, or that little goblin that keeps popping up and just messing around and not doing things that it should, kind of like what Chucky does. So that's why I chose Impidimp. No, I did not choose Banette because Banette is going to be a later on Pokemon for a different character, so I had to go with something else, so I picked Impidimp. The next movie, villain, also, I have not seen this movie, I have only seen play of the game. It is Slenderman. The reason that I wanted to do something like Slenderman was because, you know, it's lanky, it's tall, it's mysterious, not a lot of people know about it, so I was like, I want to challenge myself and do a Pokemon partner for Slenderman. So I did. No, I did not choose something that is big, spooky, lengthy arms, you know, like big, creepy. I chose this Pokemon because it's creepy and we don't really know a lot about it, kind of like Slenderman. I chose Esper. Esper is creepy, especially in the one Halloween episode in Pokemon X and Y, because, I mean, not specifically in that episode, but Esper is a creepy Pokemon overall because it has so much power, especially if it like lifts its ears, that really people don't understand it and they just like it because it's cute. But it's just kind of a very mysterious, it has like that gaze, kind of like how Slenderman has that gaze even though he doesn't have a face. He just kind of sits there and is just very creepy. Very, 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 very creepy. And Esper kind of reminds me of that, where it's just, if it's just standing there just staring at you. I feel like Esper is that kind of Pokemon where it's kind of like creepy even though it doesn't mean to be. And God forbid, maybe Slenderman's creepy and he doesn't mean to be. Maybe Slenderman has feelings. How do we know? He can't talk. I don't know, but I chose Esper for it because they both kind of have that paranormal type feel to them. Creepy, paranormal type feel, if that makes sense. The next Pokemon, or the next villain that we are going to be talking about is Jigsaw from the movie Saw. If you haven't seen Saw, Saw is essentially about this person is behind a puppet named Jigsaw, where it has like kind of like the traditional mime / clown makeup, and they put people in these positions where they're in puzzles where they need to basically save their own life or else they die. Like, they have to do a certain thing that, like, it costs them their arm, or it's something, it's like some sick joke, you know, where they thrive off of the torture of others. And the the Pokemon I chose for Jigsaw is just kind of because of the resemblance, and it's also because of the creepiness of it, kind of like with Slenderman and Esper. I chose Mr. Mime, and I know that's kind of like, oh, well, duh, they look alike, but it's also because Mr. Mime, a lot of people don't like Mr. Mime because of the vibe that it gives off, and how creepy it is, and just mimes in general have always been creepy, and so have clowns. They've always been a very popular fear of the public, and I feel like Mr. Mime very much fits that, where it's not recognizable as a Pokemon that really brings people joy. It does kind of like creep people out. And I think that Mr. Mime would be very good in Jigsaw's games because they can just put a person in a box, and then they could have Mr. Mime put them in that box, and then they have to solve the puzzle in the box, or else Mr. Mime won't let them go, you know? Kind of stuff like that. This is like what my mind thinks about when I'm at work, and then I write my ideas down in my notebook. This is just what happens, and I'm sorry. But yeah, Jigsaw, Mr. Mime. The next super villain, horror movie person is Annabelle. Annabelle is a derivative? It derived from The Conjuring. The Conjuring came first, and then Annabelle and Annabelle Afterstorm, whatever, came after. Annabelle essentially is a haunted doll. The story is a real story where there is a Raggedy Ann doll that is haunted. It's like a demonic possession. It is haunted by a demon, and it is named Annabelle. This is a real thing. It is in a haunted museum owned by Zach Bagans, who is one of the hosts of Ghost Adventures. I don't know if he still owns it, but I know he did at some point. But it is a real haunted doll that was it was confined by two paranormal investigators. I don't remember what their names are, but it's the same, something Lorraine Warren, the Warrens, something Lorraine Warren, and I don't remember the husband's name, but they were doing a haunted house. They did a lot of paranormal activity, and they took Annabelle and they confined it so that it wouldn't be able to get out, and the spirit wouldn't be able to get out and haunt and kill, because the spirit was that strong. I know I'm getting very deep into it, but I just want to make sure that you guys understand, and you understand why the Pokemon partners I pick for these villain type things. But this is the one I chose for Banette, because they are both spooky dolls. Banette does try and turn children into dolls as well, and that's just kind of like that evil side of Pokemon. Like, we all saw the one Halloween episode, I think, where Banette was trying to turn trainers into dolls. Banette is creepy like that, and I think Banette is actually one of the most creepy Pokemon because of that lore. Sableye is as well, but you know, the ghost Pokemon do have this certain type of lore that we really don't look into until you look into the Pokedex, or you look into Hello Fly, or you look like pretty deep into it. So I think that Banette would be perfect for Annabelle, because Annabelle in this list is one of the most... Annabelle is creepier than Chucky. Chucky was just a fictional story. Annabelle is a real thing that happened in life, and I think that Banette fits that creepy narrative more than Chucky does, where Chucky was more of a mischievous, where Annabelle is more serious, demon, paranormal, trying to harm people, and Banette is also trying to do that as well, because it was a doll that was abandoned, and it wants its revenge, kind of like how Annabelle wants its revenge on living people. That one got real deep, I'm sorry. For this last one, if you haven't seen Scream, Scream's a pretty good movie. It's a classic. The Scary movies, it's a B movie. The Scary Movie 1, 2, 3, 4. Scary Movie 1 is based off of Scream. The main villain in it is Ghostface. It's basically just a serial killer just killing people. Has a mask, he has like a ghost-faced mask on, and then has a knife and starts killing people. The Pokemon I chose for that is Scyther. And the reason I chose Scyther is because Scyther has knife hands, and I feel like Scream and I feel like Ghostface would just go ham with that. So that's why it was a very simple answer. A little different than Annabelle, but with Scyther we're gonna end it on a soft note. Because God forbid. But yeah, those are my ghost type Pokemon. If you want to see me do a part 2, let me know. This was kind of fun. Let me know other movies you guys want me to do. Which was your favorite Pokemon partner? What's your favorite horror movie? Let me know down in the comments below. I appreciate you all for doing this with me. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good night. Bye.